Yes, thank you for recording this. Meeting is now called to order at 7:32. And big thank you to the council for approving the regs and the schedule so we can get going. A huge thank you to the committee members for all the hard work, 8 committee meetings to get those procedures organized and consolidated. And it was a lot of heavy lifting. It gets easier from here on out, team. Jen, welcome aboard. And Nomi should be joining us from Florida shortly.
He's coming in right now.
Ah, great. We got the whole team here tonight. Good news again is that biggest part of our job, the hardest part, the heavy lifting is done. From here on, we've got a lot of administration to do and we need to be very meticulous about that. But the hardest part is done. Yay, team, hooray. Let's see if I can get my video going here. Yeah, there we go. Hey, everybody. Okay. I also want a special thanks to Michael for getting our contracts up for the mail vote contractor eclectic and for our voter roll verification champion, Julian Lampier. And Julian, a warm welcome. We'll come to you in a minute. Next item on the agenda is to approve the December 18th meeting minutes, which were in the packet. Does anyone have any changes in the minutes? Unmute yourself, Nomi.
I'll second it.
Okay. No changes being known. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Jen, please unmute yourself. All right.
So I didn't vote because I wasn't there. So
Okay.
I would just do it 4-0.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for taking the minutes tonight, Jen. All right, so committee's email. Has everyone been able to get access to the election committee email? It's vmaelections@martinseditions.org.
Yes.
Yes, you have. Jen, can you get to the email? John, can you get the committee email?
I need to verify.
Okay. And Paul?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Check and make sure you can do that because we're going to have information coming in on that email at some point in the process here. Website access, I think everyone has access to that. Any problems with website access to our committee page on the website?
No.
Everybody good on that? Okay, good. Dates for the next meeting. The good news, besides the fact that the regulations are done, is that we don't have meetings every week. We can go down more like once a month. And I wanted to suggest we do one at the end of February to go over where we are in the voter roll verification process at that point. And then another one in early April where we need to actually vote on the final voter roll. And so let's get some dates on the calendar right now. If people can pull their scheduling books up. Julian, we're going to come to you in a minute. I will introduce you in a minute. But I'm looking at the sort of calendar here for February. And our specifications for the work here are that you'll give us reports on your progress every 2 weeks. So I'm looking here for maybe your first report on Friday the 9th and your second report on Friday the 23rd. Is that okay, Julian?
Yep, that's fine.
That'd be fine. Okay. Then in which case we should have our next committee meeting after the 23rd. And I'm free basically Monday the 26th, the 27th, or 28th. I know Wednesdays sometimes aren't for you, Paul.
I'm gonna be out of town until March the 1st.
Okay, well, we could do.
Sorry, what was it?
I'm looking at the 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Are we gonna have? So we're gonna have 2 meetings in February, right?
Yeah, one at the end of February. Just
We're having one tonight. Why can't we wait for the first part of March to have the next meeting?
Just because when Julian gives us the list of people that we need to send the follow-up official letters and notices to, the timing on that is that we should get those committee letters out to people saying there is a question about your eligibility please get back to us within 30 days. Those letters should go out sooner rather than later, because we have the end of March, March 31st is when we need to be able to basically certify that this voter roll is verified and ready to send to the vendor, to the contractor. So I'm thinking if we can actually have Julian report on the 23rd. Are you here the 23rd? Or that weekend, the 24th, 25th?
No, I'm gonna be going from the 19th of this month until the 5th of March,
5th of March.
you know, so could we have something that Thursday night? Like the 7th?
Okay, that's a little late to get the letters out. Because March 31st isn't 30 days from March 7th. So I'm thinking the letters need to go out at the end of February. We may need to limp along without you, Paul. Are you going to be someplace where you can zoom in by phone even?
I don't think so. We're gonna be in Florida with in-laws, but I'm not sure I can get in from down there.
Well,
Anyhow,
see, but
go fix the date the way it should, the way it's best. That's all.
well,
You're
And-
breaking up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was wondering, is anybody having audio issues or hearing?
I can hardly hear
Can you hear
anybody.
me okay?
I mean, I can hardly hear Marty.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
Marty who's breaking up.
all right, I'm
Okay.
close
Marty,
to
it's nothing personal, but but you're
Just your
breaking me
voice
up.
is breaking up.
the mic.
She's still suffering from her cold.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. At least I'm not using that yet.
The
Marty,
microphone is,
Marty,
Marty-
is your microphone attached to your earbuds, your earphones? I'm wondering if that's an issue there.
Okay, is that better?
That is better, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Right, good. Okay, thank you. So Paul was standing. Can everybody else do Monday, the 26th?
I'm okay.
All right. Naomi, Jen,
I'm okay.
Jen? Jen, unmute yourself. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yes, I am muted because I'm having dinner because I got home and I did not have time to eat before we started this meeting. So,
Dinner
But-
earlier. Go ahead.
because I thought we were starting meetings later.
Yeah.
Monday, the 26th works. The 27th absolutely will not work, but the 26th will.
Okay, I think we have 4:26. Let's go with that. Yeah, just time to get a bite.
Marty, you're still breaking up.
Yeah.
Marty, you're still breaking up.
Okay, 7:45.
Still
Yeah.
breaking up.
No, unplug it and plug it back in. No, now
Is that
you're completely, say something.
Hey there, I'm speaking.
Now you
Yeah,
just.
Perfect.
Much better.
Okay, good. Let's rock and roll. All right, we have set a date for the 26th of February, 7:45 p.m. Okay. And the next meeting we can set right now too will be early April, which is where we have the vote on the verified voter roll. So that's a biggie. And I'm looking at April 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. We're due to send it to the vendor by the 7th. So how's April's Fool's Day look to you guys? Monday, the 1st of April?
That's April Fool's Day.
Yes, it is.
You have a conflict then.
I will take that as a compliment, Arthur, that we are not fools.
That's fine with me.
Hey. Jen, Nomi, John, April 1st.
Yes.
At this time, it's good.
All right.
Jen, good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Nomi, good for you?
Yes.
All right, April 1st, 7:45. All right, those are our next two meetings. And that's all we need in the way of meetings. In terms of the process here, we will have administrative documents we need to approve, and I'll send those around with a heading on it that says action. So if you get an email from me that says action, it means please read it, edit it, and okay it. And we've got it. We're ready to roll here. Okay.
Okay. So I'm just want to clarify. We're meeting at 7:45, the next two meetings,
That's correct.
as opposed to the 7:30 that we met tonight.
Correct. Because 7:45 gives Jen a chance to get something to eat.
Got it. Okay.
7:45 on the 26th and on April 1st.
Okay.
Okay. And we have no residents here tonight, so skipping forward to the next item. Yay, ta-da! A warm welcome to our voter roll contractor, Julian, who's already been at work for a week here. And again, a thank you to Michael for getting the contract done quickly. A thank you to the council for approving the RFP and the contract. And Julian, we are so excited to get this started and so delighted with the way you've begun organizing that spreadsheet for us to do the first sweep for the committee to go through and get you off to a good running start. I'm going to turn it over to you with a warm welcome from all of us.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Nice to meet the rest of you who I haven't spoken to yet. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for selecting me to carry this out. While I've been, supporting the public sector through my work with ICMA for the better part of a decade, it's really exciting to actually be able to work directly with the local government, especially one in my beloved Montgomery County. Don't want to waste too much of your time, but as you all probably know from my application, I've spent the last several years immersed in spreadsheets virtually every day. It's basically in my blood, whether registration lists, data imports and exports, progress reports, you name it. I know my way around this kind of thing, so you're in good hands. But enough about me. My plans for this project are using your last year's voter roll as my official source of truth. And my first steps are going to be comparing this with the official resident and property lists that you've provided me with, and then also the county list once I receive that from you folks. And I've also, you also should have received the OneDrive link to the Excel sheet where you can enter all your initials to mark the people that you can personally confirm. So if you want to, once you've had a chance to do that, if you could just ping me, shoot me an email and let me know. Once I have that from all of you, I'll know that I can really get started on my next parts.
Julian, this is Paul Weller. I sent you mine back this afternoon. 2 people on that list are deceased. I marked those, and then we've got a house down here at the dead end of Raymond Street that it rents for $6,000 or $7,000 a month, I might add, where people are coming and going all the time. And I don't know what we want to do about that, but the people don't stay very long in there. So what do you suggest? But anyhow, I marked up the deceased anyhow.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And there are a number of other houses that are in the process of transition now. And so, this is a kind of a moving target, but it will be an enormous public service to get 99% of it, actually confirmed. And that's what we're heading for. So Julian, back to you.
Great. Well, so as I mentioned, the records you've already provided have been invaluable to my work, and you really should be proud of your record keeping processes. And well, just your entire election process. I was looking at the Federal Election Assistance Commission and their best practices, and you guys basically have all of those down. So you really should give yourself a pat on the back for that.
That's nice to hear. Thank you.
Anyway.
We worked hard.
Yeah, I can tell. But anyway, after my comparison work, that's when I'll, move on to the other sources to verify what's left. So as you know, like property records, other public records, the vital statistics database, obituaries. One of the resources I'm hoping I'm going to be able to use is the Electronic Registration Information Center, known as ERIC. They provide member states with a couple different reports that help them maintain their voter rolls, including a cross-state movers report, an in-state movers report, a duplicate report, and a deceased report. I am not entirely sure if they're going to be able to provide me with those reports since I'm like not an official state employee, but I've already reached out to them, and while I haven't heard back, rude, I'm going to give them a call tomorrow to see if I can just get a feel like, hey, am I actually going to be able to use this resource or not?
Possibility, Julian, is that we might be able to get something like that through our buddy Boris, the exec director over at the county voter roll,
Oh, yeah.
the county board of elections. And he certainly has access to that. And he and I have talked about using Eric at his level to help clean up the state and county voter registration lists. So we may have a second avenue there, but you go ahead and call and see if you can get it directly.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, I reached out to Boris or like earlier this week to connect, and I haven't heard back yet, but I can ping him again if I don't hear soon.
He says he'd be glad to hear from you, and he's happy
Awesome.
we're doing
So-
this.
Yeah, I'll just follow up on the email that I sent earlier.
That sounds great.
And
Do any of the committee
once these other
members-
resources are exhausted, if there's still any doubt as to eligibility, that's when I'm going to begin my direct outreach to the residents whose contact info I can find either online or from the village records that you so helpfully provided.
And
I
again,
also wanted to talk a little bit about the final product and what it's going to contain. Obviously, it's going to have all your basic demographic info, name, address, contact information, much of which I'll source from your resident list. But I'm also going to have some columns indicating the resident's presence on the other lists to kind of help narrow that down. I'm also
it would
going to
be
set up kind
great
of
to see who's on the county list and who's not,
Yeah.
and et cetera. So yeah, go ahead,
Yep,
proceed.
exactly. And I'm going to set up kind of a basic ranking system for how sure I am about the eligibility of each voter. So once we get to the point where like, all right, we've exhausted all avenues for like sorting this out, I'll try to give it kind of all right, I'm pretty sure this person is eligible, or I'm pretty sure they're not, along with all the people who are 100% confirmed.
That
And
sounds great.
And for most of this process, I'm going to keep the lists formatted pretty simply. Just to, I like keeping things simple for most of it. And then towards the end of the process is where I'm going to get a little bit more creative with the look and feel. I'm going to add some filters, some color coding. And I'm probably going to, I'm definitely going to break down the document into a couple different sorting methods. Because I know you can rely on Michael for his incredible Excel wizardry, but I want to make this list something that anybody can access so that like even if you're not super experienced with Excel, you'll be able to switch to whatever view will work for you.
That sounds great. The only other request we have for you, I think, is to keep notes on your process so that at the end of the day, we have an SOP
Yep.
of how you did this and how it could be done in the future so that this can be replicated.
Absolutely. And I make tons of SOPs for work all the time. Michael can tell you that.
So
so that's
you're
no
good to go
problem.
on that part, huh?
Yeah.
As well.
But yeah, that's about all I have for you. But I just like the rest of you, once you get a chance, if you could, mark your initials in the eligibility. I did need to mention something though, because the list I sent, it looks like someone has deleted the column that had all the house numbers as well as the full names. So I'm gonna need to do a little bit of sleuthing to figure out how to reverse those changes. So that you can actually see which houses you're responding to. I don't think it'll take me too long, but just I wanted to mention that since it's not you're not really going to be able to mark anything without the addresses there.
The list you
but-
said did have all of that. I remember seeing all of that.
Yeah, it did. I'm not sure. I think someone might have mistakenly deleted it, so I'm not sure how that happened. But I have a backup copy, so I'll be able to refer to both and should be able to figure out. Hopefully, I'll just be able to reverse the changes from whatever whoever made the mistake. But I don't think it should take too long for that. In any case, I'll let you know once it's back to a usable format, so those of you who haven't had a chance to mark it can do so.
I have to say, Julian, looking at it myself, I found it very easy to use the original one. It had the names, the street numbers, and it was easy to zip through and just verify the residents that I personally could confirm firsthand. And also the column where I could confirm that somebody had moved away or passed away. You really set it up nicely. I was very pleased at how user-friendly it was, at least for me. I see Arthur has a hand up, I think. Arthur?
Yep.
Go ahead. Arthur, you got your hand up? Unmute yourself.
No hand for me.
Oh, no hand. Okay,
Oh.
that's just weird on my
Well,
screen.
I would like to just say hello to Julian from the council. Julian, hello. It's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. I'm Katie Howard, one of the 5 council members who voted to hire a contractor. You are making history. That's the first time we've ever done that. And I thank you for all your time, energy, and expertise. So if you see me included on the emails, I'm serving as the liaison to
Oh,
the
good.
committee. And I don't know if you've had a chance if you've visited our office or our neighborhood, but I just wanted to, extend a warm welcome and be happy to, answer your questions about the neighborhood but thank you. And your process sounds awesome. So
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing the finished product. Welcome.
Me too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Any other committee members have any comments, questions? Okay. Julian, thank you. That was a very helpful presentation. And again, the first product, this checklist for us to sign to confirm was so user-friendly. I loved it.
Thank
So,
you.
well done.
Well,
Good.
and I'm hoping that the rest, that the final spreadsheet will also be that easy to use. Although I should say it's probably, I'm going to probably break it down in a couple ways. I am going to have it in a format where there's going to be different sheets with like different sorting methods, but I'll also probably break it into a couple different files too, just so you have plenty of different options to access it.
Sounds good.
And hopefully, well, I mean, I'm going to be adding all that contact information that I can. So hopefully next year when you do this again, you'll be like, all right, I can just reach out to this voter directly from the voter list that you already have.
A team, that's what we're aiming for. That's exactly right. Any other questions for Julian?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Julian, I added my initials to the folks on my block that I can verify live there. But there are several folks that fall into other categories. People who have moved away / people who have died, and people who may still be living there, but their kids and may have moved away. Can I just note that to you, send an email to you to double check that with Michael? There may
Yeah.
be some need for phone calling of these families.
Yeah, and that's fine. So with the folks that you know for sure have moved away, there's a column that you'll be able to enter. It's currently column T. So you like for the ones that you know for sure, you can just put your initials there. And I also included 2 additional columns in a U and V, which is with a notes and then additional notes that, it like any of that information, you can put it in there. But if you want to email it to me, that's also fine.
Okay,
And that goes for the rest of you. If you think of something like, oh, I remember something and I don't want to forget it, feel free to just shoot me an email so I can incorporate it into the list I'm building.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, good to go and off to a great start, Julian. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
For the committee, our next item on the agenda is to go over the one-page VMA voter form. The regulations this year provide for a form that can be used to sign up new voters and the ones who aren't on the county voter roll, who are just on the village voter roll. This complies with the regs that the council just approved. We also have a new definition of qualified voters this year that the council approved back in September, which allows people who are temporarily residing elsewhere for military service or work or whatever reasons to continue to exercise their residential right to vote. And Jen, this is something we talked about at our meetings because, when you're on an assignment for 3 years somewhere else, I know that you were very concerned about maintaining your residential right to vote. So this form does both of those things. It's as simple as we can make it. And I know you all on the committee took a look at it when I sent it around earlier. Does anyone have any changes or edits that they'd like to recommend at this point on the one-page VMA voter form? All right, well then, could we have a motion to approve it as proposed?
I make a
so-
motion.
I so move.
I
All right.
approve.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, looks like you got 5-0 on that. Thank you. And council members, we'll be sending that over to you officially for approval by the council at the February council meeting because we want to start using it to, register our voters. And also to have people who are going to be residing elsewhere temporarily able to sign a form. So thank you, council members, in advance for hopefully approving that in February at your meeting. Next item, we are zipping through our agenda here. Next item is the appendix of items that the council chair, Arthur, asked us to put together for future council consideration. And again, I circulated this document to the committee members earlier, and there were a few minor edits, but no changes in substance. Are there any questions about that appendix page? It's just a one-page list of items. It was in the packet for everybody. Any changes there? If not, we can go ahead and vote to approve that and send that off to the council as well.
So move.
Is there a second?
I second.
I
right.
approve.
All right, all in
Aye.
favor? All in favor of the 9 items on the proposed appendix, please say aye.
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 All right, 5-0. Yay, team. All right, council members, you will be receiving that shortly. I'll send it to y'all tomorrow. Item number 4, review the next steps for the election schedule. We've got, again, as I mentioned at the outset of the meeting, a number of administrative things to do. The public notice for the opening of the nominations period is February 22nd. I'll circulate that to everybody. If you see an email from me that says action, that means take a look at the document and either edit it or give an okay. And Michael will be sending those to you well in advance. We're going to try to give you lead time on all of these things that need to get posted publicly. We've got a newsletter article in the February newsletter, as well as the official election notice that we were required to post in the February newsletter. Michael, thank you for having both of those in this month's newsletter. We'll do another one for March, April, and probably for May. Reports for council meetings, again, we'll circulate the same way. We can do them administratively. We don't need a committee meeting. But if you get an email that says action, please take a look at the document and get back to me. Let's see, March 23rd is the candidate filing date. Yay. March 26th, 27th is our next sort of document production. And it's not a hard thing. I've got 90% of it done. That's where we put together as a committee the official VMA election information packet that then gets mailed by the staff to all households, all 325 households. And we need to have that ready pretty quick after the candidates come in on the 23rd. So our target date is 26th or 27th to have that document in the staff's hands, ready for Michael and Aaron to get it mailed out. It has to be received by the village before the forum, which is in April. So we've got some time there, but it can take 10 days to have something printed and mailed out. And then we don't want to have any post office delays. So anyway, our next date as a committee for a document is the 26th, 27th. And again, that's an administrative thing once the candidates come in. By April 7th, you'll see here, we need to approve the verified voter roll. Yay, which we will have because Julian's got 60 days to work miracles. and we appreciate that. So that's the schedule. Does anyone have any questions about the schedule? It's very doable. This is the easy part, right? The hard part was writing the regs. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Would you be
Marty?
willing to send us a schedule?
Sure, I'll do that. John?
Yeah, Marty, clarification, you said that the staff is doing the mailing. I thought Electric Tech was doing the mailing.
Electech mails out the ballots. Right, that's in April.
Okay,
What we need to do is mail what's called the Village Election Information Packet, which has the notice of the election and the
okay, well, yeah,
in the forum. It has the candidate statements. Say we have 4 or 5 candidates. We have 6 slots open. I mean, three positions open on the council. We may have 6 candidates. I don't know. Hopefully we'll have at least 3. But in any case, it has the candidate statements. It has the election schedule. It has a 1-pager on basic instructions on how to vote. And it's kind of a friendly packet for the village. This is your information package about the election that goes to the village from us, from the election committee. And then after we have the forum, Eclectic mails out the actual ballots.
Got
Okay,
it. Got it. Okay, you clarified it. Thank you, Marty.
other questions, comments? I'll send everybody the schedule just so that you got your checkoff dates. I want everybody to please put April 23rd, 24th, those 2 dates, save them on your calendar. One of those 2 nights will probably be the forum. All right, so we need to be sort of here for that, April 23rd, 24th. That depends partly on when the candidates are available, which we won't know until March 23rd, the month before, when the candidates come in. One of the first questions we ask them is we say, thank you for running, and can you make a forum on this and this date? So we're looking at April 23rd and April 24th for the forum. So save that date. May 7th is election day. We're going to have the Dropbox on the sidewalk and table in front, little celebration on the sidewalk that Michael and Aaron will organize. May 7th, if we can be here, because we need 2 of us there with that election Dropbox at all times. Paul and I talked to Nikki, who's our contact person at Electic for the mail vote part of this. And Nikki said that she was going to try to arrange what we had asked for as a committee some months ago, which is to have them, Eclectic, come down from New Jersey with the Dropbox that day, May 7th, and then pick up the Dropbox and the completed envelopes that night so that we don't have to store the envelopes overnight and drive them back to New Jersey that night. And Nikki said that she's going to try to arrange that. So we don't have a definite yes, but she's going to try. So that's something we'd asked for, and looks like we may get it. Paul and I had a nice chat with Nikki. Paul, didn't you think that she was helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. Very cooperative, yeah.
And the only question that it was still hanging after that conversation that Paul and I had with Eclectic was whether or not they'd be able to actually do the ballot tracking that we've asked for, that our regs call for. She was going to check because something about the postal tracking wasn't working the way it was supposed to work or something. It wasn't really clear to us. I don't know, Paul, if you had thoughts about that, but
I didn't catch all that, no.
yeah, but we will follow up. The plan is basically on the calls with Nikki that both Paul and I will be on the call, and we will of course keep Michael informed of all of this as we have been. Michael's getting CC'd on all our emails and everything. We're trying to be completely transparent here, from every direction. So, but if you have any questions about stuff, check with Paul or me, because I'm trying to make sure the 2 of us are on any calls that we have with Eclectic. And we'll follow up about the tracking. I'll let you know as soon as we have an answer on that. Any other questions about any of this? Okay, I will send everybody the full schedule, and we're good to go. We're wrapping up in record time here, team. These meetings, they can be very efficient, and bravo. We've had these incredibly complicated meetings where we were writing regulations, and you all were just troopers through all of that. So here's an easy one as your reward. Any final questions, thoughts, comments?
I just want to say, Marty, that the reason these meetings are so easy is because of all the work you do in between. Thank you so much.
Prep work.
I second that.
I'll third that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
me
a
too.
pleasure.
I'm not allowed to vote, but I agree. And I hope you're feeling better.
I am. I'm getting over the flu. No more fever of 102. That was a little hazy. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a bad week. But anyway, thank you all very much. My job is basically to keep us organized. And it's
And you have done a stellar job.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
y'all make
So
the
true.
decisions. I just keep us organized. To be continued. And again, Julian has kindly offered that any of us can email him anytime if we have questions. So Julian, welcome to the team.
You.
I hope you feel very comfortable with us. We don't stand on ceremony. Any questions, any thoughts, any suggestions of things we could do better, we tend to listen to people, so if you've got a good
Awesome.
idea, we'll be glad to hear it. All right,
One thing that I just remembered,
sure.
you mentioned like the addresses that were missing from the voting list. I
Yeah,
was able to figure out which ones those were, and I also noticed that there were like 2 addresses that were missing from your house list. So I can resend the email if you want, just so that you can update your list of like houses as well.
send that to Michael if you would,
Yeah, no
as well
problem.
as to us, because Michael is the sort of mastermind of the village office official lists, right? But
Right.
yeah, anytime you find like a missing address or something, I mean, that was weird that there were some missing addresses on the voter roll. One of them I know was a house that was under construction, but another one I know was a house where somebody was living. So I have no idea why that was left out. But this year's voter roll, we want to make sure we have every address. And since you mentioned that, the way we used to do it back when we were doing it by hand, I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 9 years ago, was where there was an address where there were no residents because it was under construction. We would actually on the voter roll have a line that said no residents, house under construction. So that it was clear we hadn't just skipped an address somehow or made a mistake. So our voter roll back in the old days when it was manually done was, every address was on that list. So there should be no missing addresses on our final list this year either. Okay.
Marty, there's two houses being built, as you know, on Cummings Lane, as we speak here. And it's possible that there might be people living in those houses by the time of our election.
What we'll do, Paul, at that, there's a
Yeah.
procedure. We have a procedure for that, which
Okay.
is to contact them as a committee. You're exactly right. Keep track. And of course, Michael can let us know, or we can walk over and say, hello, knock on the door. Welcome to our new neighbors.
Yeah.
And we send them, either hand them or send them this voter form to fill out. And so even before they get registered in the county, they can register with us and vote in our election. And we could add new voters like that up till May 8th, or excuse me, May 7th, election day. I think I've told this story before about how when we were still doing elections in person at the table, one guy came running up, he'd moved in on May 1st and our election was, I don't remember, May 6th, 7th or something that year. And he wanted to vote. And, he didn't have a utility bill yet. He didn't have his driver's license with our VMA address. I said, well, what do you have to show that you're actually a resident here? He said, I have a mortgage. And the guy literally trotted home, jogged home, got his mortgage and came back to the table. And, we had the house listed as vacant in transition in our voter roll. And he showed the mortgage and the committee voted right there on the spot that this was indeed a Valencourt resident as of election day, gave him a ballot, he voted, and we welcomed him aboard. We are very voter friendly, or we try to be anyway. So not everybody has to actually go and get their mortgage to prove they live here, but we will accept various forms of documentation.
It will be the case on Cummings Lane, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
up till election day, 8 p.m. on election day is when we finally close the voter roll officially and certify it. And Paul, you and I have to sign and certify it that night on election day. But it's basically open till 8 p.m. on election day to add new voters. Okay, good question. Other
And
questions?
this is Michael. I just wanted to comment for Julian's sake. I know Marty and I already spoke about this, but I'm putting together a list right now of everyone that I know has either moved into the village in the last year since that last voter roll that you're looking at, Julian.
Mhm.
And also I can put together a list of houses that I know are vacant right now. And if you have any questions about specific, addresses that you're not sure, odds are I do know, who has moved in or out. So use me as a resource. I'm here to help.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
But I'm glad you're on board doing this so that I don't have to. And at the end of it,
It's been too long.
and at the end of it, I'm going to use the information you provide. I mentioned this to Marty. I know my resident list isn't completely 100% up to date, and a lot of times I only have one person per address because that person kind of handles receiving all the emails and all the village news and everything. So I don't know who their partner is or in those types of situations. So your list is actually going to be more accurate than mine. So it's going to be helpful for me too.
Awesome.
Yay team, yay team.
And I know our street captains, I'm married to one of them, are very willing to help report the latest. Like we have a house that was renovated and it's been vacant and people are moving in this week. So a family's moving in. So Steve is already, that's my husband. He has already emailed Michael or let him know the latest. So I think our street captains are able to report too. And that's extra boots on the ground. So,
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Katie, as I mentioned in my little note to you earlier today, you know, the first round here is to have the committee members themselves verify everybody that we can personally vouch for, that we know firsthand are current residents or have died or moved away. So the second round is street captains. And so we're going to be reaching out to Steve, thank him for being a good street captain. And one of the things we're going to do this spring, I think, is put in the welcome bags that the street captains bring to new residents, the one-page voter form that the committee approved tonight and that I hope the council will approve at the next council meeting, because we can get that filled out for the new resident right away. And that's where the street captains, again, are going to be a really important part of this process. So tell Steve we said thanks in advance because we're going to be contacting all the street captains. Any other comments? All right, good meeting, team, and thank you everybody for all the hard work it took to get to this moment. And hopefully easy sailing from here on out, and a really solid product in terms of a voter roll from Julian, you know, for this year and for the future, a process to make sure we keep it that way. Can maybe have a motion to adjourn?
I would say before we do that, that we have a real thank you to you for being a very good chair of this committee. It's a very important committee to our village. So anyhow, I would move that we adjourn.
I second that.
All
I
in
vote for
favor?
that.
I approve.
I
All
approve.
right, we are adjourned at 8:14 p.m. Yay, efficient team.
That's-
Thank you,
That's a new
everybody.
record.
I think we've done a good job here, and I'm really proud of
Good
be
night.
part of
We
this.
have.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Well, thanks
Bye-bye.
to you guys. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
Talk
You've
soon.
all worked tremendously hard. It's amazing.
Welcome, Julian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice
Yep.
job,
Nice to meet all of
Marty.
you, and yeah, just ping me if you need anything.
Yay,
Okay,
team.
will do.
Way to go.
Cheers.
All right,
All right.
everybody.
I'll send the
Thanks.
minutes this weekend. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Michael.